Beautiful.
And we're going live. Hello, hello, hello.
There we go.
Hi,
everyone.
Are you? You didn't put the other one.
What in the world? And we saved the best intro for last.
Oh, cool.
Hello, turtles.
I love turtles.
Hello, turtles.
I love that small.
That was awesome.
Small clip.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back
How's it going, everybody?
to Adventures with Nub. And y'all can tell we got Malik TV, Second Star Survival, 13 Spirits Paranormal, and my
Who's
favorite
that?
vodka,
Who's that guy?
Vodka Vamp. And Jared King is on the way. He's having internet issues.
Oh, cool.
Oh, snap. We got hanging with Mr. J in the house.
Hi, Mr. J. Hi, Ben. Hi, Amora.
Oh, shit.
We have Randy. Jenny just got in chat. Hi, Jen.
Every 30 minutes, I'm gonna have to go quiet.
Shire's there. Am I missing somebody? I don't.
Bessie's in the house. Vingman.
Your wife is just saying nothing. So.
Oh my god.
So we was talking about before the live stream. What took us so long?
The ghost is just a very malnourished albino person.
Huh?
Huh? I didn't hear you. Were cutting.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I found either a ghost or a malnourished albino possum.
Ooh.
An albino person. Wow.
Going on a ghost hunt.
Nice.
Where's he going?
Get up out of there.
Put him full screen.
Here we go. Come here, buddy. We just want to say hi.
While Matt is doing that, hi, hi,
What's up,
Dustin. Hi,
PPR?
Randy.
Hello, everyone that I missed.
Okay, never mind. So,
Yeah, we're going on an adventure. Look how sexy he is. Look. Respect the bed. Respect the bed. Respect my authority. Say it, Matt.
Hey, Turret.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, we was actually talking about interviewing a satanic cult one of these days.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah, it would be interesting to do.
Yeah.
People in the
Interesting.
chat do not think that we're demonic because we're talking about that. Do not go fishing saying we're crazy.
Or
even if
or
we
you can,
are
No deliverance.
They
or
don't
you
call
can
me
think
the
about
demon of
it.
holes for nothing.
I mean,
Look, we know you're our little hole demon, okay? It's all good. Everyone should have a pocket Maddie and a pocket Maddie hole demon. You just never know when they're going to come in handy.
Don't like it when I excavate this hole. Oh yeah.
Dude, we need to get you a new phone or something, Maddie, bro. That speaker is crap.
It's
Sorry,
hard to
bro.
hear.
I'm in the wind and everything right now, so it's all screwing everything up. I'm outside.
Shire.
Get a plastic gun and handcuffed with a sheriff badge.
It
Oh
looks
my
very
god.
shiny and blue.
Yeah, squirt gun for me.
I agree, Jenny.
Actually, Shire, you're seeing Matt in his costume. He's actually dancing for Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
And
I had to get you back, bro, man. Sorry.
back to Chupacabra dancer.
I'm
Like
just like he's a he's
The reason why they call it a weeping willow is because they dance on it.
Thank you, Jen. I didn't
Shire's
know.
always bad. What are you talking about? Oh, look at this sexy thing. Hey, sexy. I mean, hey, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. How's
I'm
it
a
going?
werewolf of Oregon.
I have a Sasquatch.
Yes, we are, Marianne.
He has
Oh,
a
Jenny.
Sasquatch.
Did y'all have fun at Queen Mary?
Actually, 2 seconds. Did you see the live that sorry, Fluffy did?
No, I have to go back and rewatch.
Go see that on the first part. On the first part he's doing. Actually, I was in chat with Chani, and we both saw a lady with a red dress and a white scarf.
Oh.
Where did they go wrong?
I haven't gone back and watched them yet. I caught his second one very quick, but he was having trouble.
Yeah, the second one he was having trouble with the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi and stuff. But on the
Yeah, I
first
just
part,
got home.
actually at the end of the first part, Jenny does go and bring stuff to I'm not gonna say everything, but go see that. It was pretty
Oh, cool. I'm
awesome. And
definitely
you
gonna
see the
catch up
Queen
on that.
Mary. The
Definitely.
Queen Mary from real close because they're on the boat doing stuff, and he has a couple of good EVPs. I'm gonna leave it there. Go see it. If you
They're on my
haven't seen
catch-up
it.
list. I'm now going to catch up quicker.
I already
what did
say
you
when
do,
I
Nubby?
run when I run for president and when I run for president in 2024, you're gonna be my VP, Jenny.
What did you do, Nubby? Don't upset my Jenny.
Matt, you're in charge of the military.
Oh, see, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, you're in charge of the military, Matt.
Can I have international affairs?
They invaded Canada first.
Yeah. Dobbs could be the first Canadian.
Be Secret Service.
Yeah, he's
gonna be on my interrogation table.
Malik and Dom on my Secret Service.
Nomads.
Vodka Vamp is my jet driver.
No. No.
With my collection of mayonnaise.
I'm gonna stay in Canada.
No, you're not.
No, I want.
That's why we're invading Canada.
I already got one vote. Of course, you're my side piece.
And I'm still your side piece.
I mean, look, Ryan, we can.
I should stick my infant in.
We can
Ryan,
join forces, Ryan.
I was about to say that join forces. It would be, yeah.
Oh. Oh man.
No,
I love you, Jen.
I real quick to say, haha.
Oh well, it looks like we don't get no say.
But
yeah,
yeah. Anyways, if you haven't seen what Fluffy did this week, go and see. It's worth the while. Even if you've seen the Queen Mary or by yourself, it's worth the while
No,
seeing the
no.
picture. What?
yeah.
What?
That she's the royal ruler of
Hold
Australia.
on. What's this, sis? Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. If anyone's going to be the ruler of Australia, it'll be me. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah,
As the honorary Aussie.
yeah.
My job.
She's
Oh,
Yeah.
you could always come be my VP, Nubby.
Yeah, I put out also. I think you saw it, sis. The video with Hardy at the old courthouse.
Oh, honestly, that was so good. If you haven't seen Dom's, go watch. Hey, I could not get over the responses you were getting.
This place is crazy nuts. If anybody comes to Quebec, I will bring you to that place. It's crazy nuts.
yeah. You're the main squeeze.
The response.
Set Texas.
The response we had, the equipment was going on and off. Actually, the necrophonic shut by itself on the tablet. The tablet completely closed in the most haunted room. Not on my video, but on Harley's video, you can clearly see I go into that small closet, come out, and I'm all blurry. I have a headache coming out and stuff. Yeah, so
Hang on.
Wow, I'll have to go and check his out. I didn't check his out.
That's actually a pretty. Look at those guys right there.
Yeah, my last video, when the storm was coming, it was like getting black. All of a sudden, the whole entire sky just went green. I thought a tornado was going to hit us. Except for like tons of lightning.
Yeah,
that was wild. They looked like they were right over your house, some of those.
Yeah.
The way it lit up, everything.
Yeah, it's like darkness, all of a sudden daytime. Like, what?
yeah.
It was really crazy.
The first time I went to North Carolina before Christmas this year, it was the Ian thing. Wow. Hurricane. Thank you. Hurricane Ian, and I left North Carolina at the beginning of the hurricane. It was dark. It was crazy. I was going like, hell shit, am I going to get to Canada alive? Trees were falling and stuff. I was going like,
See, Dom was in that Final Destination movie. Like, had one. What? Speaking of that, that's actually going to be our first topic. Is
premonition.
Yes,
dreams.
or Dom said. I'm all for pronouncing words if y'all didn't know. But I watched all the Final Destination movies like back to back because where I babysit, my niece loves horror movies. Yeah. So me and her will sit there. We had a horror movie marathon of Final Destination. Oh, wow. And Annabelle and The Conjuring. Yeah. Like, her favorite is Annabelle. Well, no, her favorite is actually Killer Clown from Outer Space.
Old school.
Oh, she's got some taste.
Yeah, she. Yeah. Okay.
But yes, pre-ambitions. I know I said that wrong. Dom, say it again.
Premonition dream.
That word.
Premonition.
Premonition dreams.
Do y'all believe that people can actually do that? Like, actually have visions like that? Mm-hmm. I personally believe that they could because, I mean, anything can happen. I think like anything's possible. So I personally believe
before that actually happened for afterwards. It's really weird.
Yeah, like
it's time for me to take the stage left. I'll be back.
I do believe in premonition vision or dreams, call them as you want. I do believe in them. Does it come to everyone? I do think so. Once in a while you'll have a wild dream and say, hey, I saw this, or I dreamed about it already. So yeah, I do believe on my side that they do exist.
It's like a deja vu from a dream.
Yep, I had many experiences, particularly when I was young. Quite a few.
Sorry, I'm hearing talking and everybody's sleeping in the house. So
It's just me.
no, we recently, for people that do not know, I do live in a haunted house, so you might see stuff flying and yeah, black shadows and stuff. But recently, the activity has pumped up in the house, and we have no clue why.
Wow.
Well, but
Could someone have followed you back from a previous investigation?
No, actually, I do live in a haunted house. There was a plane that crashed here.
Wow.
118 people died. My house is buried on top of the epicenter.
Oh,
So
wow.
we do see the pilots, the stewards, passengers. I do have. You're gonna find it funny. I do have a buddy when I watch sport, hockey, football, name whatever sport. Okay, I do have a buddy, a ghost buddy that I call Charlie.
Yeah.
Didn't know this guy, and I was trying to find a name, to be a smart ass and say, hey, I do have a friend. I call him Charlie. The name came to my head, and maybe 2 weeks after I decided to call him Charlie, we had a new member come into my team. We were having a lunch in a restaurant, and she came in and she goes, Dom, I have information on the plane crash at your house, and blah, 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 blah. And she starts talking about a guy named Charlie.
Huh.
I go, what the
Wow.
fuck? She goes, yeah, Charlie died. He was owner of the Canadian Football League. He was owner of the football league and also a team in the league. He died a couple of days before the Grey Cup. Grey Cup is like for the NFL, the championship. So he passed away in that plane crash.
Oh, wow.
And his name is
I
Charlie.
believe that.
Yeah.
Mara.
So, and like I said, here in the house, you can have sometimes funny dreams and stuff will happen after. So that's why I'm saying I do believe into those kind of dreams.
So everybody agrees that people can dream that. And the next topic is Dom actually said it. Said something
No,
about.
not everybody.
Okay.
But we heard.
Not everybody. Let me get
Matt,
down this rim job. I'll be right back.
Matt, you're cutting. You're cutting out again, man. Okay, so now to continue, you were saying.
Yes, Dom was saying that his house has recently picked up like activity has.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the topic was has paranormal activity increased more the past few years?
I think so.
Well, my opinion, yes.
Yeah, you.
Hey, look,
I would
and I say that because
I would say there's a shift in the if you want the huntings or spirits and stuff like that. What I tend to see presently around when I go investigate is the places where it was guaranteed that you would get paranormal activity. There's less paranormal activity in those places, and some places where you had like just a little bit, now it's starting to pick up. So yeah, I do think there's a change. Is it more? Not sure, but there's a swifting change in
Do y'all think it is because of the way that the world is now, the way that people are these days, and
Yeah,
Well,
with all the negativity. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
but
that's the word I was looking
but
for.
with
Negativity and
everything we've been
stuff
on,
going on.
we've been going on with, just take the C shit, all the energy that was put there, the number of people that passed away with that. Sorry for the people that had people pass away with that for the C shit, but all that's coming together. The tension in the world, the wars, the stuff like that. That brings energy to the planet. Also, we're
And a lot
humans.
of death.
We're poly. We're killing the planet basically.
Exactly. Yeah, don't even get me started on that, Dom.
So I think it's a shift of everything together, and like Malik is saying, all the negative stuff that's been going on in the past years. Yeah, but for sure it's gonna bring its share of activity, different kinds and stuff like that. What you do tend to see, and this is something that I'm saying like that, what you do tend to see is more traumatic,
Yes.
Yeah.
not traumatic, but
Agreed.
more like darkish a little bit experiences sometimes.
I agree, Ryan.
Yeah, it just
Definitely.
seems like a
And
lot
look,
of
I
people
say
are
this
angry.
because I agree wholeheartedly, because my husband, atheist, biggest skeptic in the world, except since he's been with me. But we had an experience together a few
wow.
years ago. And it was one of those situations where something happened and he sort of turned to me first and went, and he looked very spun out because he doesn't believe in all of this, although he's had a couple of moments where he's now,
Yeah.
maybe. But he turned to me and he said, "Did you just see that?" And I turned to him and went, "I was about to ask you the same thing."
Oh wow.
So if he's seeing, it's definitely him.
And that's another thing that Balka was saying. A lot of people that were skeptic on
Yes.
those things, they what the hell is he doing? He looks like what's the movie? Ted and something.
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted. He looks like the guy in the phone booth, like.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay,
but
can y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, here's the thing. There is no time or space or anything that has not had shitload of bad shit that's happened. Every generation, every 100 years, everything has had mass bad karma, bad juju going everywhere. I mean, it is not today that has weakened anything. It is not today that has had an increase of spiritual activity. It is not today that is shit. Every generation has been shit since the beginning of breath, beginning of life. I mean, you're saying Corona, all the people that died during Corona and everything is worse than the Muslim wars, the Crusaders wiping out thousands and thousands and thousands of people. No.
I'm gonna argue with that. There was more damage with the TB, typhus, and stuff like that than COVID. Not to, and hold on, before I get crucified by somebody saying I don't believe in COVID, I got COVID. I got 3 shots, 3 shots for the supposed help with the COVID, and I got COVID 3 times.
But I'm just saying that, just the scarlet fever has killed more people than any other sickness in the world. I mean, look how many people. Look. There's still a person that's in an iron lung from polio. I mean, All this BS about which is the most dangerous of the generations is a bunch of load of bullshit. It's a little load of bullshit. There has never been a time of actual peace in this world. So blaming today's standards to 1,000 years ago, you can't do that. You can't. Can't say that one generation is worse than the other to make the veil thinner.
Nubsy, bring back Shire's thing. Okay, sorry, Matt, to cut you there. I'm gonna go on something after on this one.
It's not that paranormal activity is increased. It's just more people are aware of it now than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. That's the reason why we see more and more paranormal activity now than we ever had before.
I agree.
That's where I was going with now on saying there's a shift. There's a shift in that. Not necessarily that there's more paranormal activity, but the shift is there. Like Matt is saying, more and more people are aware of paranormal activity. With the TV, with all the groups around the world doing paranormal investigation, ghost hunting, and stuff like that. So everybody around.
It's the same thing with cryptid activity. There's accounts of cryptid activity all the way.
Hi, Miss Amy.
Ancestors.
But like Shire was saying, one thing I've noticed in paranormal activity starts often in the house where people develop the depression and anxiety, which is also true. But don't forget depression. Let's say just take the 3 last years with all that COVID stuff, all the restrictions, all the cases. A lot of people went depressed. So yes, it does hype up. In that dimension, people with depression and anxiety. And Jesus, I have problems with my words today.
If you want to use that as an excuse, then what about all the insane asylums?
I'm not. Hold on. I'm not taking that. I'm just saying. To the point where Sharian's saying, yes, depression and stuff will build up some energy that the spirits can obviously use. Coming to your answer, Matt, if you go to the asylums, why is a lot of asylums in the most haunted places you can invest?
I agree with that too,
but
Ryan.
There's a lot of asylums that don't have any activity. Look at all the asylums in the UK and everything that have no paranormal activity.
You're right. I'm not saying because there's an asylum you're gonna get obviously paranormal activity. I'm just saying that some other places you do have. What do you have in those asylums is people on in depression and stuff like that. So I say I'm not saying it's the pinpoint, but I'm saying it can lead to increasing the boost of stuff.
Definitely the population.
But
love you, Amy.
I'm saying that mental problems and depression and anxiety isn't just a turn of the century stuff.
Oh no. We know that.
I mean, it's been around forever, and people just went on with their fucking life. I mean,
yeah, but hold on. People back if you go in, let's say in the old ages, Roman Empire,
I guess way back when.
People with depression, people with those types were like pushed aside.
Well, they didn't know what it was, so they thought they were nuts.
Yeah, so they were pushed aside because they couldn't pinpoint, okay, you're in depression, you're this, you're that. So they were pushed aside, not probably
even children who weren't very, who couldn't learn very well or had intellectual issues, shove them in an asylum because they had no answer. They thought they were
back in the time
insane or possessed.
Back in the days, it was a shame. Let's say I'll give you an example. Let's say me, I do have kids. back in the 1700s, 1800s, having a kid that was handicapped, that had mental problems, that whatever dyslexia and stuff like that was considered nuts. It was a sin. It was a sin. It was a sin to let those people out in public. So when you had gatherings at your house, that's why you hear stories about the kid that was locked in the attic upstairs or the basement downstairs. Reason why they didn't want to show that. So
they didn't have the money to put them in an asylum. But the thing is
yeah, but the asylums, as we know them now, they haven't been there for much long. They've been there from the late 1700s, beginning of 1800s.
Yes.
But what happens to the people? Example, Montreal was discovered in 1642. There were crazy people in 1642. There was no asylums there.
Yeah.
So they would shun the people and keep them in the basements, locked in a basement, not finished, on dirt, and basically sometimes even if they ran away, they would chain them on the walls because they were people were scared of their own kids, own families. So
yeah, but all I'm saying about it is we can't use that as a fucking excuse for everything. We cannot use it saying that, oh, this person's got mental illness, so they're a magnet to spiritual activity. You can't. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 may be picked, but can't just. That's grasping at excuses for a shitload of things that we cannot explain.
What I was saying, I'm not pinpointing on saying it's only depression and those types of things. I'm saying those things will. It's like you're going on a trip. You have to pack up the car, so you're gonna put your suitcases, you're gonna put your food, you're gonna put your cooler, you're gonna put. So depression is like the small part of cooler that you're gonna use for your trip. Other things. So I'm not putting that on directly on saying depression is the only reason why we have paranormal activity and stuff like that. What I'm saying is,
the dictator is here.
It is
the
a
dictator done
percentage.
showed up.
Oh, the leader's here.
Here we go. Put them in their places.
It's a teeny percentage.
Everyone in their place.
It's a teeny percentage of that. I'm not saying just because of that, but
I'm just saying, like what Charles said, you see an increase of paranormal activity with people with depression and stuff now. What about Amityville Horror? All of those people that lived in that house had nothing wrong with them until they moved into that house, supposedly. I mean,
wait a minute. Wait. I got something to challenge Matt with. Everybody sit back and watch this happen. Hold up, chat. Matt.
Yeah.
Egregores.
What?
Okay. So the theory of egregores is that a place can become a portal or charged with negative energy and promote activity based on the occupantal energy of the location, correct?
Yes.
So the theory that I think is floating around here in the chat and everything, and basically what I was trying to reiterate is you will notice an influx of activity. It doesn't have to be a lot. It just has to be noticeable. Okay. And define noticeable. Somebody was aware that, there was a shadow where before we probably would have been like, oh, my peripheral is just off or I'm tired. Our depression has led us to observe things differently, the traumas that people are experiencing. And when I say traumas, there is a lot of weak people in this world. I'm sorry. We have people that are willing to go do absolutely ridiculous things because their mommy and daddy told them no one time.
Right.
And just to counter that and be a bitch, not everyone in this world is the same. And what we can all handle mentally or otherwise is very different. And even the same family members, you can all have them. It was, a bit of study I did, and she gave a great example. You can have 4 siblings go through the exact same disaster, They will
I
all
can handle it differently.
handle it differently internally.
Mhm.
Now, you cannot come up to them and use a one-size-fits-all approach
Right.
to any sort of help or therapy because they are all different people. So, therefore, what some people may not be able to handle, 20 people might be able to handle. And that's great. But that just shows the differences in society, in people, in mentally or intellectually.
That's also regional and cultural too. Because
Yes,
there is
very
some
much
people
so.
that are just, there are cultures that are strong, that are just innately stronger because of what
Yes.
they have gone through as a culture or even as a nation and stuff like that. Like I will say in the US, we're spoiled brats. That's, you know, I'll say it, I'll raise my hand and say it proudly. We are spoiled. We have too much money, too much food. And I understand there are some broke people. I'm not pointing fingers at y'all. I'm just
No,
saying
in
there are
general.
some people that don't know what to do with their time, money, and energy. Okay. They'll overspend and then make themselves broke. You know, I've watched it happen time and time again. It comes into my funeral home every day. You know, before I used to have ODs being my main source of cases. Now I have suicides. And when I talk to the families, they always tell me the same thing. They couldn't handle themselves. Why and why is that happening? You know, why are we letting ourselves steadily decline into that type of normalcy? And that's where I see a lot of people that'll literally, and I think a lot of times this has been an ongoing thing where the whole psychosis versus actual paranormal comes into play, you know, where people assume they're seeing spiritual activity because they've trained themselves that the stuff that's going on in their head is paranormal, you know, and things like that. I mean, this is broad. This whole topic is broad.
The line between paranormal and psychology is a really, really, really
Exactly.
thin line.
And see, yeah, I'll agree with that and just say, look, I've had, you know, I am open to it. I know about it. I've experienced it. But little things that may happen here or there, I don't jump to that conclusion.
Right.
I don't jump to the fact they're paranormal.
We were talking about, well, Jenny brought the egregore. Actually, the University of Toronto, you can go and Google this. You'll see. They put in a small room, a group of, I think it's 20 people, and those people they built up the story about a ghost, and the ghost was in the room and stuff like that, and they got the people to actually, with the mood in the room, to lift up tables and do stuff.
Well, our minds are very strong, so
Yes, they are.
But that goes with the same thing as anything else. You can have 20 people in a room and somebody yawn.
yeah,
2 or
that's a
3
rainbow.
minutes later, somebody else is going to yawn. Then the whole entire room is going to yawn or sneeze.
It happens in group investigations. Did you
Right.
see that? Yeah, we saw that. Did you hear
Yeah.
that? And I've tested it in live streams where people have told me they've seen or heard something, and I'm like, yeah, it was there. And then you watch in the chat, 20 people all of a sudden saw it. It was never there.
And
It was
it's
never
the same
there.
thing in a chat room, like literally like the chat room that we're looking at.
Yeah.
Everybody could be watching a live investigation, and as soon as the first five people say something, the whole entire other chat says the exact same thing as them because they don't want to be singled out. They don't want to look stupid. They don't want, so they're going to go with the seat mentality to follow everybody else.
That too, Matt, but also the psychology, and I know you know this, the psychology of fear and excitement are the same thing. They have the same bodily reaction. That's why we love getting scared.
Right.
And test it when you're excited about, you know, a holiday, and then when you get nervous about going on a roller coaster, the same type of bodily reaction all happens. It's in your mind which one you side with.
Same reaction you get at Christmas opening a present. You're so happy to open the present. It's the same same, let's call it like this. Sorry people, it's the same DNA as fear. So when, as Jen was saying, you're going in a roller coaster and you're afraid of heights, you're gonna freak out. You're gonna be on emotions and stuff, but it's the same DNA for both.
Yeah,
It's called different because
I always use wedding proposal as the stimuli for happiness versus roller coaster, because you get the sweaty palms, you get you're nervous, but it's excited nervous versus, you know, fear nervous, you know, and they do borderline. So our minds can literally flip that switch anytime it wants to.
Yeah.
So you have to use, like, you know, process of deduction to tell yourself, like, what did I hear? Was that just a pop in the wood? Was that this? Like, you know, being on the Queen Mary, for example, that is a old ship. And Fluff ran into 3 people running around that ship with K2 meters.
Right.
And it was adorable. I mean, I will bless their heart. It was so cute. But they're telling me how they're getting activity, and I was like, you're on a metal ship.
Yeah.
Don't forget you're in the middle, even if it's dark, you're in the middle of water.
Yeah.
Water creates energy. Water creates
just like dowsing rods. You don't take dowsing rods on a boat.
I was about to say that, sis.
Yeah, you don't.
And then, but you'll see people running around with them, like you see it on TikTok. Amen.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man.
I always laugh when I do see people on a bridge or a boat doing dowsing rods. I'm like, yeah.
See, dowsing rods are my favorite.
And after that, I hold on. I'm not saying that dowsing rods are not good, but on a source of water, even on a boat or a bridge,
I don't take it nowhere there's water near and all that, because you're not gonna get a good reading.
It's like saying I'm gonna go do a fire outside when it's raining.
And I'm gonna jump in and be, you know, different again.
You're not a bitch. Quit calling yourself that. You're just
I've been in so many chats and lives and watching and stuff where people are like, oh, did you hear that? Did you see that? And I'm like, no.
What was that?
No, didn't hear it. A, I know I'm going a bit deaf, but anyway. B, no, didn't see that. But in saying that, I am not as gifted as some people out there. And I know there's a lot of gifted people out there who can see things that no one else can see.
Yeah,
so I have a hard time.
People out there, but you have to be careful, okay? I'll give you an example. I do haunted tours, I do ghost walks and paranormal investigations with other crowds and public. Sometimes I have to calm them down because they'll hear a branch in the woods and not realizing you're in the woods. It could be anything, okay?
Exactly.
Some people will jump for a branch cracking in the woods to that's the devil.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, look, that just makes me laugh. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm not saying the demon stuff do not occur, because I did see stuff. I still at this time cannot freaking explain what happened in those cases. I saw an exorcist being done and stuff. So I do believe in bad entities, but demon all the time, every 2 seconds. Yeah. This is starting to get.
People that say demon for everything have no idea what demons are.
Yeah. And like Jenny was saying before, sometimes people will hear the roof pop. It's a nail, which is in old houses, nail will pop and break, and you'll hear a pop or a bang.
And contracts with temperature.
Wood the growth and will make different noises in the house. If you do not know those things, you're gonna take that for paranormal activity. You're gonna say, "Oh, something's doing this, something's doing." You're not. The best thing to do is demystify your thing. You're hearing a bang, go to the bang.
Yeah.
Go investigate why is it bang. Try to reproduce the noise. Try to, if it's something moving, try to see if the floor is even, if there's wind coming in, stuff like that. People tend not to do that and always jump on the bandwagon. It's freaking haunted. It's this. It's demonic. It's this.
Yeah.
I get some bullshit and saying, this group is going live. You watch live, and all they're talking about is demons from the start to the finish.
And
And you're
everything
watching,
is a demon. Everything.
Just to cut in,
yeah, and you're
Aiden said
watching
she's
the live,
sorry.
and you're
Most
going,
stupid place in the
okay.
world.
And yet you're watching this and you're saying, okay, I could basically tell you what is happening right now. This is when knocking on the wood, or this is this or that or that. You can clearly see, and all you hear is demon here, demon that, demon did this, and not naming names, but sometimes stuff will happen. They will trip on something, fall down, and oh, they got possessed. Stuff.
Yeah.
And it's tough.
I'm like,
It's tough
seriously,
it's tough finding good evidence in channels or even on TV because everything is something, you know, and that's what makes it so disconcerting to watch, and you know, almost, you know, where nobody wants to do it anymore because people get excited or overly verbose or overreactive over anything. And if this is your field, you're supposed to know better. You're supposed to lead people in showing them like,
welcome
hey,
back,
welcome back. You're supposed to lead them and show them like, see, it wasn't a ghost. It was literally this. So when you do find that holy grail moment or that Easter egg moment of you found real evidence, it is supposed to be something that lights up, you know, and really gets out there. And it's hard to find that when everything is something, you know, and we all know not everything is something.
A lot of people. That's another problem also. A lot of people, I do enjoy watching, you know, like Fluffy did stuff. People put out videos, but a lot of people are using that as a diving board to go up and think, because they're putting out content that's they're gonna make millions of dollars and stuff like that. So when you do come to talk to those people to try to help them, not to laugh about them or stuff, you know, just give them, you know, advice on stuff or be careful with this, or you know, this. So they're disrespectful and you don't know what you're talking about.
Professional or anything or knowledgeable, have knowledge. Stop playing the game with everybody else. You know, just for fame, fortune, glory, money. Stop that. You're never going to get anywhere following the flock, saying everything is something when it's not. It's just never going to happen. It's
I'm
not.
the last person in the world that you're going to make me believe that a fucking ghost is out there scratching on my fucking chalkboard. You know?
You know what? I'm coming to your house right now with my ghost to scratch.
I was going to say, look out. I'm going to come prove you wrong later, Maddie.
Yeah, Matt.
I'm going to decorate your walls with Ouija boards.
I got my leg broken. Live stream. Being
I will be in your closet butt naked, Matt.
But here's the thing. I got my leg broken. I sat 6 months in a fucking bed, you know, on a couch with my leg up and everything. And I'm sorry.
Right.
People are not going to make me fucking believe that a fucking 2 foot tall ghost is running up underneath my bed and everything, scratching.
No,
you know? I'm sorry.
No, but if you go back to that incident where you broke your fucking leg, sorry for my language, you do see, like I told you, Matt, you do see just before you get pushed,
because it's happened to
something
me,
behind you, and you do hear. We listened to to a couple of times on panel, and we do hear somebody breathing before they push you down. So
but
maybe underneath your bed, there was nothing. But obviously, if you tell me nothing pushed you through that door, we're gonna have a problem.
Everybody that watched that live stream knows. Like,
I'm just saying, if I had a jar of Hellman's mayonnaise for every person that said that there's a demon
You'd be able to jack off the rest of your life.
Yeah. If I had a jar of mayonnaise for every person that said there's a demon and my house goes wiggle wiggle at night.
Here we come with the fucking mayo again.
Yeah.
It has to be hot mayo, though. He likes it warm.
I would be the king of mayo right now.
You're already the king of mayo. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that. You're the king of mayo. Okay.
I am, but I'm just saying.
Look, we all know it's clickbait.
Yes.
I mean, it's as simple as that. And look, look at YouTube. Go to some of the videos. They even tell you that's how you get subscribers.
But actually, the clickbaits, it's okay. You want to bring people to your channel. It's okay. But at the same time, people that go to that channel, they're going to believe everything you're going to freaking say.
There's some people that just want that.
There are a portion that just believe regardless because that's
they
what
just,
they read.
But even if they don't believe, they just want that. They want that feeling or whatever. They have that connection with that content creator or whatever, and they just enjoy it. It is, I'm sorry, whether people like it or not, it's entertaining. You know, whether it's real, true, genuine, it's still entertaining. That's why you're watching it.
But the thing is those people are the one that's contaminating the mindset of every fucking person that watches this shit.
But as long as people are watching it, it's going to continue.
Right. But the thing is that mindset is a contamination. It is literally a disease that is hurting everybody here. If you think you're the one with 100% fucking proof of everything, they're going to say that you're not.
That's the problem. Nobody has 100% absolute answer. Okay, I'll give you another example. Me, Jen, Malik, Nubsy, we go all four. All six. Let's say we go all six. We go to investigate. We're gonna all have a different vision of what we're investigating. Yeah. We're gonna all have a different version.
What's up, Wally?
How the story of the investigation is gonna come out from our mouths.
420.
We're all six together, but we're gonna have a different version. So paranormal is different for every single person.
The premise of paranormal from way back when, and I'm talking when I first came into it in the early 80s. Was you had to deduce everything down to where you could no longer explain logically what had occurred.
That's supposed to be
that's what it's supposed to be.
You're absolutely right. It's supposed to be like that. You're supposed to deduct everything.
But we lost that.
Yep.
Somehow it got not us.
Why? Because everything is rush.
Well, not only that, it's fame, fortune, and glory.
And anyone can do it.
It's fame, fortune, and glory, dude. Everybody wants to make a buck somehow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's easy to do for people. So they're seeing stuff on TV. Saying,
that's why I said my body.
This is easy to do. Anybody can do that. But the problem is
YouTube made it easy. Everybody had a show.
They don't think about the consequences of
Wicked,
doing that.
Brother.
What can happen? Everywhere. So yeah, hi Fluffy.
Sexy Fluffy.
They're my cutie patootie.
Fluffy is the hottest.
So here's an example. Fluff had been filming content for YouTube longer than I had. So he'd filmed with many people. He'd seen people's many different styles. And I'm gonna put this out there, and hopefully he doesn't hate me. He knows who fakes because he's been with people that have done it. And the one thing I can say about Fluff, he won't fake. He just won't.
Fluffy, listen. I never investigated with Fluffy. I do see him do his investigations. I do see him do his videos, and never in one video I saw him say where I would say, I'm not sure, man. I have a doubt on Fluffy or stuff. That's not the case with Fluffy.
He would rather put out. He's gonna put out some. He'll put out boring content before he puts out something that's unauthentic. If he doesn't find something, he'll still put out a video and be like, "This is what happened. This is what you can look forward to." But it's not going to be added this and that. And but Fluff naturally jumps in gasps all the time.
I do the same thing. If I do not have any proof of paranormal activity, I will do a montage of pictures of the monuments of the city.
History. History of the location.
Just for the location, showing up where I was investigating. But I'm not going to put in stuff that wasn't there.
Yeah. And I've seen people over embellish something, we'll call it that, if you will. And I'm like, that didn't, and I'm like, that didn't happen though. And then I look like a total a-hole in the chat because I'm like, where? Like, tell me what you're seeing, because I don't see it. And I'm not going to be one of those people that sits there and goes, oh yes, there's something. Oh yes, there's something. Unless I'm doing like a, an experiment in the chat.
There's another case like you're seeing, Jen. People will send you pictures. They know you're in the field and say, hey, can you check my picture? Or can you check my video? Can you check my EVPs? There's stuff like that. I do that gladly for people. What I do not like is you're asking me my personal advice.
And then they tell you you're lying.
I'm not going to be a bullshit and say, hey, bro, you have, or sis,
you ain't got anything.
No,
you have everything. You have.
They want to hear you tell them that they have shit. They want to hear it. They want to hear that.
I got banned and disrespected because I told some people, listen, my humble opinion, there's nothing paranormal in your stuff. And people will turn around and say, oh, Dom's an asshole, he's this, he's that, he whatsoever.
I'll tell you this much, Dom, it's our autism. It won't let us. It won't let us. We can't do it. It's either
I can't fake it. I can't put fake shit. Even I don't care about the numbers. Okay, I've been on YouTube. I've been putting out videos on YouTube since 2014. You can go. I have 87
exactly
videos.
True, Fluffy.
I have maybe 600 members now. I don't care about the numbers. I don't care if I get if YouTube pays me 3 cents in the dollar for a video. I don't care about that. What I want to do is put out content, history, and make people understand this is what real paranormal is.
Yeah, Dom makes his money by the Mr. Clean commercial. That's where Dom
sells his
money by stuffing my donuts.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean,
French Canadian Mr. Clean.
I just got $100 just doing Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Dom sells feet pics online for money because he's got that demonic foot claw thing.
No,
yeah, I got
no. I hate foots. I'll tell you right now, I hate foot. I do not massage foots.
That's okay, because Nubs wants to touch you with his feet. And he's got webbed toes.
Nubsy, keep your
Jenny and Fluffy see my toes. I got webbed toes.
Like Nubs legit.
I'm exactly Duckling for a reason.
I'm really fast.
We call him Ducky.
Yeah.
I'm Nemo. I got my lucky fin and my webbed toes.
He can swim really great though.
I can.
That's why he was a lifeguard. But yeah, everybody has an explanation for enhanced paranormal activity. Everybody has an explanation. And maybe, you know what? The universe is infinite. Do we know? No, we could all be full of shit right now as we stand. Or we could be correct.
I'm definitely full of shit.
Yeah, you can take a dump then.
You can do something and think you're doing the right thing. Even with pieces of equipment that you use. Some people think they're using the equipment properly, and
there's people that don't know what their equipment even does.
Right, 90% of these people, they go out and spend $1,000 and don't know shit about what they use. They don't know anything about electrical.
I'm gonna go get the Paranormal Music Box 3000. Yeah. Well, what's that do? It makes a sound when a ghost walks by. How? Well, it just does.
How many of you fuckers out there have a $3 cat ball that lights up? You know, like
I'll let you know that all my cat balls are honest.
You going too?
I got honest balls.
Nice.
I spent $20 to do a live investigation at that haunted woods. I put it on a brick. I put it on a cinder block, and I was tapping it. You literally had to close your fist and hit it to make it go off. And the thing is, if you go and buy a Wish.com cat ball,
how much time it took to come up? Now it's closed. Okay. Now it's lit. Okay, I'm not moving.
That's what I'm saying.
Nubs, he did it.
Nubs.
That was perfect.
He's a friggin' wizard now.
That they can go out with a fucking EMF detector and all this stuff. You know what EMF detectors are used for by electricians? To find
You can put it next to your microwave and see if it's leaking any
one
stuff
of the
it's not
things
supposed
one
to.
of the things I do tell a lot of paranormal teams that they tend to talk to me and not find me creepy or funny. Anyways,
I think you're sexy. Oh.
Thank you. First thing I tell them, because they're saying, "Hey, what kind of equipment do I need? Do I need this? Do I need the REM pod? Do I need this?" Hold on, please. Start by the beginning. Start by learning how to use a recorder, how to use this piece of equipment slowly. Then you build up your suitcase to have everything you want to. But start by learning how to use those equipments properly.
Oh, you mean like the people that did the paranormal pumps and then turned on their K2 meters and they were going off like crazy and they were wondering, oh my God, how could you just charge the air with freaking ions? You know, of course, all your equipment's gonna go off. That's how you can prove your equipment works. That doesn't prove anything else.
That's another thing. EM pump is not to be used on an investigation.
Nope.
And I will tell you that 3/4 of the investigators out in the field will use the EM pump while doing a live video and trying to promote and saying, "Hey, my K2 is going nuts." Duh.
Well, yeah, as long as you don't tell anybody you're using it and you're into faking, it'll work.
My balls are always blue, vodka.
You know, so, but yeah.
So the next topic tonight, guys.
We don't have another topic. I said
saying on this topic.
First of all, sorry, sir. Who are you? Jen is there. Jen is running the show.
I forgot.
I am the dictator.
Yeah, Jenny's the dictator.
Servants, sit down. The adults.
Hey, Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hey, wait a minute. We'll decide. What's the other topic? We'll decide if we want to move on.
Near-death experiences.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we can move on. Matt,
well,
you're
Jenny,
first.
Malik is first.
Pick
on
one
this
out of a hat.
Malik, have you ever had or know anybody that's had a near-death experiences? Yeah,
I've had one.
Ooh.
Wow.
One time I was hiking with my friend. We went inside these caves, just like spelunking, having fun. And like all of a sudden, he just got kind of nervous, like, "Oh, I'm gonna take off now." I was like, "Okay." I started following him. He went out first. I tried to crawl out. All of a sudden, this boulder above me is like big as a house. Started moving down slowly. Started crushing me. I literally had to grab on the front of the rock, and, like outside the cave, and pull myself out and like rip like most of the skin off my chest.
Damn.
Basically, squished me to death.
Oh, that's scary. I can't do tight spaces.
Not me anymore.
No. That's a no.
I've had one. We was hiking, and I was walking, and I guess I got like dehydrated or something. I got like really
you attack.
Huh?
Birdie, skirty, burshy, douchey. Did anybody understand it?
Are you talking on your talkie or you're talking to us?
But I got a beautiful view of the clouds above you. I mean,
but yeah, I got like dehydrated and got dizzy, and I was walking, stumbling, and I slipped, and I almost fell off the side. And luckily, my buddy grabbed me and like yanked me down. And luckily, he did, because it was legit like a freaking 100-foot drop down. I would have died like instantly.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the scariest moments. Like, and that was probably when I was like 12, 13 years old too. Like, I was pretty young. Like. But yeah, that was my.
And that's how Nubs lost his fingers.
Yeah, when he threw me, it landed right in the scorpion like mouth, and they just snapped it off.
Legend has it those fingers are still sitting where they were to this day.
I think they are.
Just creeping on people.
Yeah.
That's what's happening when they're in their tents. That's what's happening when they're in their tents in the forest, man. It's Nubby's little fingers randomly going around scaring everyone.
The little
comment. No comment to that.
I've heard if you put mayonnaise in it, You will
What'd you say,
circle the
Malik?
booty hole.
Hey, Nubs,
The
I'm gonna
only
get going,
thing
man.
anybody heard was booty
Oh
hole.
shit!
Booty
All right,
hole.
Malik, brother. Appreciate you coming up and hanging out.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Night, Malik. Take
Night,
care and be
Malik.
blessed.
Take care.
We'll hit you up next time, brother. I'll send you a text tomorrow, man.
All right, brother.
And next time, just butt in more, bud. We all know
All
how
right.
to
Tell us
talk
to
up
shut
here.
up.
So
That's how it works. You have to like buzz people and shut up.
Yeah, especially me because I talk. I tend to talk really
Occasionally
a
you have to
lot.
tell Dom, shut up.
I'm really,
Shut
I'm
up, your
a really good
autism is
observer.
talking too much.
But appreciate you
Yeah, love you
hopping up
guys,
here,
man.
hanging out, brother.
Yeah, it was fun.
Take
Yep.
care. Good
Good
night.
Take care, Malik.
All right, see you guys.
Be
See you,
safe
brother.
out there. So, whose turn is it now?
Jenny.
Jen, you want to go?
My
Jen-
turn. Dude, every day is a near death experience for me because I'm always near death. No, but for
That's
real.
true.
My first near death experience, I was 18. And when I was 18, I was rather reckless because
So last
of,
year.
oh yeah, pretty much. No, when I was 18, I was really reckless because I went through a hard childhood and I thought I was an adult at really young age. Because I basically raised myself at the age of 13 and up. And so I got a car. Imagine that. You know, I got this car. I got an old Thunderbird. And I thought that, you know, I had no respect for what cars could do. So, of course, I drove fast and, you know, acted like a, you know, an ass behind the wheel. Well, one night I was driving home from work. It was about 12:30 in the morning. I went down a lonely back road, dropped back then I smoked, but dropped my cigarette box on the ground and I went over to kind of reach for it, still looking up the window, you know, and then turned my eye for just 1 second. And when I turned my eye, I turned the wheel with me, went off on a dirt road, overcorrected, rolled my car 8 times. I walked out of that accident, but I had the door frame crushing my neck, and if it had crushed 1 more inch, it would have smashed my my artery and I wouldn't be here. But when they put the jaws of life and the airbags and lifted said car off of me, I was able to stand up and walk out of the wreck. I had 16 contusions to my head. I broke my collarbone. I broke my hand. I had a huge bump on my forehead. But other than that, I was fine. So that was my near-death experience. And I did black out because I did hit the concrete or the gravel. But the only thing I remembered in that, it was a very short blackout. It was only a few seconds, but I do remember it from when I actually hit my head. And then I remember opening, the first thing I saw when I opened my eyes was the moon, because it was a full moon. And I can promise you this much, I was supposed to die in that accident because the song playing on my radio was It's Only When I Lose Myself by Depeche Mode. And in that music video, everybody's having a car accident.
Oh shit.
And so correlations happen with me all the time. So I always call that my final destination moment is either I'm going to die in a car, I am going to die in a car accident, or I'm going to die drowning, one of the two. Which goes forward to my next near-death experience was when I was going to I was training to be a Navy SEAL. I wanted to pass the test to be a Navy SEAL, and there is a lot that goes into that. There is a lot that goes into it, and so I was, you know, before I passed my ASVAB, and I was like, if I don't become a SEAL, I don't want to be in the military. And so I went and trained with other Navy SEALs, and I did the, you know, they drop you into the 50 foot of water and see how long you can physically hold your breath. And I was such a stubborn brat that I would not give up. So I passed out underwater. And they had to pull me back out. And yeah, that was the second time I almost died. And the third time I almost died was when I lost my kidney. When I went into renal failure and I had a mini stroke and all kinds of stuff. And they were like, we don't know how she's going to survive this. She's so septic. She's this and that. Nothing was fixing it. I was on dialysis. I was on all kinds of stuff. Nothing was fixing it. You know, basically, you know, I went into a coma for 3 days because it was the only way they were going to maintain my blood pressure so I didn't die. My heart started having issues. My liver started failing. And all of a sudden, 24-hour turnaround for no reason. They weren't doing anything differently. I came out of it. So I was able to regenerate, and here I am today.
Because I am so happy about that. Oh,
so yes, my kids are too.
Wow.
So I've had plenty of them. I've had plenty of near-death experience.
What about you, Dom?
I'll let Matt go. Or
Vodka Vamp.
Oh, I'm easy. None.
Vodka. Did you have vodka for the moment? I'll come back after.
I'm none. I'm bored.
Matthew.
Except my knee drowning. I didn't see anything though. It was just when I was learning to swim. I'd had years of ear problems. I went back to swimming lessons because it was really young when it happened. I went back when I was a bit older. You just doing all right, a couple of weeks in, and then I had a new teacher for the day. And he said, well, you look like you're doing okay. Why don't we go up the deep end? Let's just get you through, let's get you done. Let's get you your certificate. This is still back in your very first certificate days because I didn't even get to finish, and it had been years. So anyway, I'm thinking, I'm not ready for this. But anyway, I go ahead and I dive in and I start swimming, and I only get partway through the deep and I start going down. And I went up and down about 4 times. The last time I remember I started taking in water. And my last one, when my head was above, I just heard like a scream from behind me. And it was one of my schoolmates. She was yelling to her teacher. And they jumped in. Next thing you know, I'm coming to on the side of the pool. And they'd got me out, her and the teacher. And this dickhead was just up in the bleachers, excuse my language, not even watching me, just sunning himself, sunnies on, laying there, just looking up at the sky. And he only really sort of sat up when all the commotion went on. And, so luckily it was my brother picking me up, not my mother that day, because she would have been worse. But he never worked again at that particular pool. So,
well, I'm glad you made it out.
Yeah.
But I'm spewing because now I have a fear of water, and I've tried to go back and I can't get past it, and I would have been a damn good swimmer. I can't swim, but I've taught all the kids around me with my 2 kids, their mates. So my 2 best mates, that I used to have, their kids. We would go to the pools, just something to do with the kids. And they wouldn't know how to dive, so I started teaching them, and I was teaching them diving and all this stuff, but yet can't swim. So I would have been so good. I did love it before my year.
I've taught a lot of swim lessons in my life. I've never.
I gotta get off here.
All right, brother. Be careful.
Maddie.
Gotta go do something.
He's gotta go work.
Matt, be safe out there, man.
Love y'all.
Love you.
Love you.
But yeah, I've trained a lot of people like swim lessons and all that. But when it comes to the ocean, you on your own. No. But Dom, what's your near-death experience? 4 of them?
Well, he's had cancer like 500 times.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, starting at the age of 10, a lot of people know I'm autistic. I got bullied a lot when I was young, and I got sick and tired, and I hanged myself. Yeah. I passed away. Came back after a couple of minutes. Time to let me see stuff that I'm still asking myself questions. That's one of the reasons why I'm in the paranormal field, is I'm looking for answers for myself, but also to help people. At the age of 12, I got hit and left for dead. That was when I got my first experience with spirits. Gentleman was talking to me, saying everything's gonna be okay, everything's good, don't worry, you're okay, you're good. All of a sudden, the gentleman, this man was telling me, time to go see your mother. And all of a sudden, I woke up. I was sitting on the side of the fence, all full of blood and clothes all teared up. I walked almost a mile to go to my house, rang the doorbell. When my mother opened the door, I was gone. Doctors said to my mother that all the energy that I used to walk and stuff like that, I was killing myself. I had a heart attack at the age of 12. All of the legs broken, arms broken, ribs broken, cuts everywhere on the body. Anyways, so come up to figure that the gentleman that was talking to me, that was saying everything's gonna be okay, was actually my great grandfather. He died the same. He died 6 hours before I was born, and I was born. When I was born, I was born as what we call a blue baby. I was dead. It took me 17 minutes to take my first breath of air. So going on at the age of 16, brilliantly did the idea to try to mingle with people, join a street gang. And one night I was coming back home. My mother just moved away. She was living in an apartment building. I was going into the apartment building and I got stabbed. Left in the stairs bleeding. If it was not for a neighbor that was coming out to go to his car, I would have passed away in the stairs. I was gone, left in the ambulance. So that on, and like Jenny said, I had cancer 2 times. And I don't know if I want to talk about this one. This one is still fresh, still at mine. 2 years ago, I committed suicide. Took a bunch of pills. I was sick of being sick with the cancer and stuff. It wasn't going great in my life, and I took a bunch of pills and was gone. And the only thing that woke me up is a person that some of you know. Images came to my head with her face, and that's what woke me up and got me to the hospital. Or else I wouldn't be here talking with you guys here. So after that, I decided that never, never, never again I will do those kinds of shits. I got help.
Good, because I'm gonna jump on a plane and kick your ass.
No, sis, I'm here for a long time. You're gonna have to bear with me. I went to get help. It wasn't easy for me. I'm not the type of guy to really talk about emotions and stuff like that, which is not really good for anything. So I went to get help. I'm better now. Cancer's gone. I'm free. Had a heart attack last January with all the stress of relationships and stuff like that. Had a heart attack. But now I'm good. Everything's good. I got operated in my knees. I'm happy. I'm good. I'm doing great. Don't worry about me. Yeah. With all the bad things. Like I said, I went to get help. So if you, and this is not related to paranormal, what I'm gonna say to you guys. If you do feel you're depressed, if you do feel like you're alone you're not alone. There's people out there that are there to help you. Reach out to somebody. It could be your best friend. It could be a doctor. It could be a psychologist. Just ask for help. There's nothing to be ashamed of, even if you're an adult, a grown-ass man like me. There's nothing to be ashamed to ask for help when you really need it.
Yeah.
Okay. And that has nothing to do with paranormal whatsoever. It has to do with life. If you do have problems, do reach out. There's people there. There's 1-800 lines. There's different kinds of people, and those people are there for you. They are there from point A to point to Z. They will help you find help to whatever situation you need. So don't be.
And they'll stay on the phone with you for hours.
And people here on the panel, people in the chat, they're the same people to talk.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, that reminds me. I tried
I'm
that at
starting
15
to get
too and
emotional.
got
I'm
both
sorry
through.
because, like I said, it's still on my mind. The last
Well,
thing.
I am so happy you got help, and just
Yeah.
reach out if you are ever there again. Because you all, every single person, you all do not know how much
That was
you all
one of my
mean
big
to
problems.
me, and I would
That
absolutely be
that
gutted
was
if I
one of
lost
my big
any of you.
problems. One of the reasons why I didn't reach out and stuff. I was afraid to bother people.
I'd rather
Now,
you
don't
bother
do
And,
that.
me.
and this
You
is
sound
serious.
like
I'd
me.
rather you bother
This
have to
is
read
really
about me
serious what
not
I'm
being
saying.
here.
I was afraid to
Yeah.
bother people, so I was keeping to myself my stuff. And
I understand because I do the same thing.
just
Yeah.
you know, just a couple of people know a little bit about the story about the person I'm talking about, and that really changed me.
Yeah.
If you want, I got real depressed, real hurt. Some I did now I realize some was a lot of because of me. The rest is not mine. It's up in the
That's right.
universe, but still. And yeah, I lost somebody that meant the world to me. And yeah, so but I'm great now. I'm good. Yeah.
It's good. You reach out. I'm here. I have severe
Mm-hmm.
depression. It's chronic. It's every day. I've battled it for 30
Yep.
years. And I suppose I really should remember that I did try and take my life at 15 too. You know, so been there, done that. Thankful someone totally unexpected actually came and talked to me. Not someone I would have thought. And yeah, never thought about it since. Well, put it this way, I had what they call protective suicidal thoughts. Protective being I would never do it because I had children and I would never leave them. But
Yeah.
it didn't mean the thought wasn't there.
Yeah. I always tell people just reach out and all you have to say is it's bad. You don't have to say anything more than that. You don't have to explain it because half the time we can't explain it when we're in those moments. There's nothing to explain. It's I don't feel anything other than I don't want to be here. You know, it's very numbing. So all you have to say is it's bad. And a lot of us have been there, and we will talk to you about anything, your favorite flavor of ice cream. What's your oldest memory? You know, things like that. And if we can get you through the next 30 minutes and we get you through the next hour, that diminishes your probability of unaliving yourself by 50%. If I can get you through the next 2 hours, 3 hours the next morning, it diminishes it 100% because you
All right,
survived the
Amora,
worst
good
moment of your
night.
life.
Night, Amora. Thank you.
Night,
Thank you for
Amora.
hanging out with
Good
us.
night, sis.
Love you, sis.
Get some sleep,
But
sweetheart.
But
What's up,
but yeah,
Bella?
so as I was saying, if anything that's bothering you, could go. People are there to hear your story, to help you, and not to judge you. And that was
Community,
one
brother.
other problem that I had. I was afraid.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up. Like I said, I got bullied because the way I talk.
what's wrong?
y- y-
You mean this?
but
The
but but
boss.
but now it's going crazy.
You mean you're a
I
DJ?
used to stubber a lot when talking, and when I get emotional and nervous,
Yeah, I'm the same.
it's more there. So
I
you
just
know,
say your mouth is a DJ. That's it. Your mouth is its own little
Yep.
DJ. It just
That's it.
whoop, whoop.
but like I said, it anything go out and reach to somebody, your best friend, your uncle, somebody that you trust, or even like I said, there's 1-800 numbers out there, and those people are there for you, not just to
Mhm.
take a phone call and say, hey, okay, man, no, they're really there for you. And like Jen said, they'll stay for hours if they need. If you need them on the phone for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, they'll stay on the phone for that time.
Yep.
They
Yep.
will not hang up till they're sure you're gonna do. You're gonna pass
Yep.
it on to the next day. And if you need to call them back the next day,
They're there.
They'll
It's
be
24
there
hours.
still. So don't be afraid. Not because you're an adult.
And there's a text message number too. If you can't verbally talk and you can text, they have that service as well.
Yeah, I love the fact they've done that, because a lot of people, and I won't stereotype and say young ones, but a lot of people today do feel more comfortable with texting than vocally speaking.
People are afraid that, oh, they're going to call the police and it's going to be this spectacle. No, that's not necessary. If you have harmed yourself, they are mandated to get you help, physical help. But if you have not caused any harm to yourself, they will just stay on the phone with you. They're not going to call your mom, your dad, your therapist, none of that. They're going to kind of let you guide it.
It's a private discussion between you and that person. So whatever you say, like Jen said, if you're saying, okay, I have a gun, I'm going to pull the trigger, they're going to call the cops on you.
Yeah.
For sure. But if you're talking and saying, I'm just depressed and I feel like I don't belong here, or, my heart is broken and stuff like that, I feel that I don't deserve and stuff like that, they will talk with you for hours if you need those hours. And
it's worth it, because we want you here tomorrow.
Believe me, I'm talking in cause, because I used a service like that, and believe me, I would, without a shadow of doubts, knowing now what I know now, I would have called like a long time before.
Just a little bit.
You look exhausted, Nubby.
Just a little. I've been waking up at like 7, 8 o'clock every morning. Been getting used to that, babysitting my niece and all that. So I've been waking up.
Well, now that's why you're used to sleeping.
And I have not been going to sleep till like 3, 4 a.m. I get like 3, 4 hours of sleep every night. Like
every single morning, I'm up at 6 o'clock for the kids to bring them to school. Then it's on to day of work and stuff like that. So,
but that's why the last topic and next topic is what we're going to be talking about is sleep paralysis. Hang on,
paralysis.
Yes. See, I can't talk. Like I'm all for it. That's why I got y'all up here with me, because y'all are better. But yeah, I've been seeing people doing streams and talking about that lately. And sorry, I figured we can touch a little bit about that.
I have never experienced sleep paralysis myself.
Me neither.
I have a few times. Not
that I recall, anyway.
Recently. Well, normally you pretty well recall it most of the time. Well, from what I know.
Well, I have a lot of suppression from my childhood, so I've blocked a lot of it out due to trauma. So if I did, I cannot speak to it.
I would tend to say also, I saw it occur on somebody. I never experienced it myself, like being paralyzed. I've been on an investigation, sleeping on a bed that was haunted, and I can't say it's sleep penetrated thing because we're investigating, and I got like I couldn't move my body except my hands. I was like a puppet. Anyways, long story short, but yeah, no, physically, I haven't seen it. I seen it on somebody. First time I saw that, I was fucking scared.
Do we count sleep paralysis as astral projection?
I thought the person was dying from a heart attack. Like this, can't talk, and can't move and stuff. I said that person is having a stroke. That's the first thing I did. I called 911 and saying the person is having a stroke. They ask questions while the ambulance is on the way, and the lady was going like, "No, that's not a sign of a stroke. No, that's not." And more, and she goes, "Is that person sleeping?" I go, "Yeah, she was sleeping. Now that person's not, because she's like moving like a worm or a fish, but no sounds, nothing." And she goes, "That's sleep paralysis." So that's when I discovered that and start reading on that. And Jen, you're not far from that. A lot of people say it's a projection of the mind that gathers a lot of the information that you gather around, and it will project at the same time.
Yeah.
So your mind is so overloaded that the rest of the body doesn't follow.
Right. They're two different things, but astral projection is usually intentional versus sleep paralysis is unintentional.
Yes.
So that's why.
And normally, if
like,
you're off on an astral travel, it's
Yeah.
normally a pleasant experience, not an unpleasant experience.
well, it's self-driven.
Most
Usually,
people
typically,
that
you have a say in things like in astral projection, like, to a point. But like with everybody who has told me about their sleep paralysis has always said how, at least in the first times, how terrifying it is.
It is.
And
completely
I've had
completely
I've done astral projection, and that was not terrifying to me. So
No,
I mean,
with
it was
everyone I've
intimidating.
spoken
Okay,
to
I'm gonna
with
ask you a
astral
question.
traveling,
I'm gonna
it's
ask
always been positive. So
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna ask a question, but anybody can answer it. It's not to one person specific. Some people, when in the sleep mode, are saying that they're seeing people, that they're seeing shadows, that they're seeing stuff. Could it be the mind, the conscious mind of you're afraid of what's happening right now, that you're projecting, seeing stuff also? What's your take on that?
Real?
Do you understand my question, or you want me to
like reiterate it? Because I think I understand. I just want to be sure.
So people that are doing, that are doing the sleep thing,
Are having sleep paralysis.
Yeah. Okay. Some people will claim to see shadows, to see people, beings, stuff,
Right.
or spirits, and stuff like that. My question is on that take. Could it be that, like you said, Jen, a lot of people first time experiencing that thing are afraid. They're not knowing what's going on around them and stuff like that. Will project. When somebody is scared, they're gonna see the worst case scenarios in front of them.
Right.
Could that be the same thing, meaning that your mind is projecting stuff because you're scared? You're not
It's possible.
in control of stuff.
It is. It's
Same
extremely
word.
possible because, like we've talked about, throughout the night, our minds can do a lot that we are unaware of because we only use so much of our actual brain, that there are specific cortexes that once activated would be very traumatic. Like when people say their third eye, opens, and they're actually able to see auras, and they're actually able to see spirit, and they're actually able to see things that normally they did not see. Can be very traumatic, can be very frightening. It can be anything. If it's intimidating to you, it's going to scare you on the first go. Once you could be prepared for it, but when you see it, it's going to be an experience nonetheless. So it is quite possible, like from what I've researched and understood from people who have had sleep paralysis, they have seen stuff. Now, there's the basis that, is it physically there, or is it just like a bad dream that they've manifested into reality? And so they can't distinguish the two, and therefore their body is asleep, but their mind is awake. And so there is a very tough discussion between, because we don't even know why. Scientists do not know why or how we dream. They have a lot of studies in it, but it is something that is so perplexing to even the most advanced neurologists. And it's interesting because what are dreams, and we can't explain that. And so if it's some people believe it's a consciousness of the next reality and like the 5D plane or anything like that. So if that exists, if the ethereal realm exists, like we all say, with ghosts and spirits and demons and fairies and all this other nonsense, or not nonsense, but just things, if that all exists, if we have to allow that in, then there's a possibility that when you are asleep and you're in touch with that, you could be pulling stuff from the 5D into your reality. I mean, we got to be real. If we believe in one thing, we got to believe in it all, right? So
well, that's where I say anything is possible. That's why I keep an open mind.
You can't go on and say it's not possible, because anything we keep on saying anything can be possible, so you can't say it's impossible.
Yeah,
That's right. Well, look, I've heard a lot of theories. I've heard about people thinking they're perhaps being possessed temporarily. I've heard a lot of different theories on it. And all I can tell you is from my personal experience, and I had a son who had night terrors, which aren't the exact same.
my daughter has them. Yeah.
But when he's actually 100% eyes wide open, and he is literally screaming and telling you what he's seeing and has no recollection of it the next morning, there's a lot of possibilities in this world that we will never understand.
So after reading what Shire put, I may have experienced it because there are times I've heard things, but my brain was awake, body was not, but I didn't count it as sleep paralysis. I guess because I don't correlate it as it scared me. So it was just, like my mind was awake before my body was, but very briefly.
Well, the few times it's happened to me, all I can go from it is what I've personally experienced, and then my son. Some of what he experienced, I know he was seeing things, but whether he was in a technically sleep state or not, I don't know.
Right.
I really can't be sure. But for me personally, this has actually happened mainly when I was younger. Probably up until I probably haven't had a night terror for 10 years. But I have had them on and off over my life, and I can always tell you that I was having a nightmare before about 3/4 of them. And I woke up, I think my brain woke me up in that nightmare.
Yeah.
I was in a half wake, half sleep state.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Where I was physically screaming for help or trying.
Because I do have night terrors.
Coming out, and I could move my eyes. That was all I could move.
Okay, but you were optically open though, so you had your eyes open. Okay.
I literally woke up, like my eyes opened. I was trying to scream, and it was basically I couldn't.
I haven't experienced
something like that happened to me. Okay, I used to live in an apartment with a friend. He was supposed to get home around 9-ish, 10 o'clock. I did that at night. I said, okay, I'll wait up to unlock the door. I'll be listening to a Monday Night Raw. I remember that. I was sitting on the sofa watching the wrestling. I could hear the banging on the door. I couldn't talk. I couldn't move. My eyes were, I could move my eyes from right to left. I could watch TV. I could realize I was watching the sports. I couldn't open the door for at least 40-45 minutes.
Yep.
I couldn't answer my phone. He was calling on his cell phone. He was banging. He went to the landlords to get a second key to come in. And that's how he found me. And when he found me, I was getting up to go to the door. Like nothing had happened. He goes, I was here for 45 minutes.
Subconscious finally resync again is that moment where you can move again.
But like I said, it wasn't not sleeping. I was sitting on the sofa watching wrestling. So,
and unbeknownst to you, you probably nodded off for that little and into a very deep. Yep. Because I believe from what I know of too, it's when we're in the very deep REM state that these things mainly happen. So you had nodded off so fast you didn't even know you went into a very deep sleep, but your subconscious could still hear everything.
But I was seeing the wrestling. I could tell you.
Yeah, he was ocular open, so
I could tell you what the match was on TV that presently. It was when it happened. It was actually a Stone Cold Steve Austin against The Rock.
Oh shit! One of the best.
That was like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd say your subconscious fell asleep, or vice versa. There is because it's always relegated with sleep, even though we can have our eyes, or we wake up our eyes fully open. The most the most common one is you can't move.
Yeah.
That for sure. I couldn't move
Occasionally-
because like I said, I was listening to wrestling. I could hear the door knocking on the door, but I couldn't talk. I couldn't get up or move. My phone that was a little bit further on the sofa was ringing, and I couldn't reach my phone to answer my phone. But I could still hear the TV playing, the wrestling match, etc. The stuff that I do remember as.
Hey, look, I could hear my husband snoring next to me. I could hear everything, but I could not move, and I could not scream. I couldn't talk. I was trying to get him to wake me up, because even though my eyes were open, I knew I was having one of those moments where I was actually still stuck in my nightmare. Half of my brain was still asleep, but I had become conscious because the fear was that real.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about with paralysis. Yeah.
The eyes I was, making sure there was no shadows or anything, nothing there, just a dark room. Hear my husband snoring his head off, and I'm trying to scream, and I'm trying to, and this is even before I was with my husband. This has happened to me on and off quite a few times, and it's always the exact same. Either I've been having a nightmare and I know it, or I haven't, and I've just assumed so afterwards, because that's been the most common thing. And it's the same. You wake up, I'm screaming, I'm terrified. I know I'm terrified, and you can't speak, you can't scream, you can't move. And then after however long, all of a sudden it's gone. You're fully awake, conscious, you can move, you can breathe.
I don't recall ever having that. I do have night terrors though, Fluff can tell you, because I'll beat him up in my sleep. It's because
in my sleep.
No, see, mine comes from trauma from having to defend myself against my ex-husband. So that's where mine comes from. And like, he's told me, like, you're screaming, like, get the away from me, you're gonna hurt me, get away. Like, I'll say things like that to him, and he's like, I'm not hurting you. And I know he's not. Fluff couldn't hurt a fly, well, I mean, he could if he was pissed off, but not me anyway. And he's always like, he'll grab me, and I'll wake up to him like grabbing me and like looking at me in the face, and it scares me because I'm like, what are you doing? Because in my dream, I'm being physically harmed. And he's like, you were screaming again, and you were like lashing and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, sorry. And I'll go back to sleep, and I won't remember any of it happening until he tells me the next day, like, are you okay? Did you sleep well? And I'm like, why? And he was like, you had another one of their episodes. And I'm like, oh, no. And then I'll kind of remember it lucidly during the day, like little bits of it.
Well, see, there is parasomnia too, which is when you do things in your sleep, and sleepwalking. And I wouldn't wicked just because it was how I was brought up. My brother did a lot of things in his sleep. He was a parasomniac, and he was a bad one. Like, I mean, he'd wake up, he'd put the kettle on, make a cup of tea, but Mum caught him one night. Thankfully, she caught him because he'd put his togs on, he'd got his towel out. There's a pool in the backyard, and he was about to head out for a swim, but she heard him putting the kettle on first, and she caught him just as he was about to jump in that water. Now, they say you don't wake them because it's possible. Now, it's not given. No, I'm sure people have woken people up, but they can get a shock from being woken, and depending on what they're doing, like if he had jumped in while still asleep into that pool, God knows what would have happened.
They say not to wake them because they can harm themselves.
That's right. Yeah. 9 times out of 10,
or
it's either
you.
a shock, or they will harm you or themselves. It's mainly a cautionary thing.
Yeah, it depends on the activity that they're doing. Because my sister would sleepwalk. Like, she used to get up and walk outside, and the cops would bring her home when she was like 8 years old, and my mom had to put like deadbolts on the door because she would just get up, get dressed, and she'd go for a walk in the middle of the night. Like, she thought she was going to school. Like when she woke up, she's like, "Oh, I had a dream I was walking to school." But she had no recollection that she physically did any of that stuff, and the cops would bring her home, and Yeah, and she
they'd come out looking at you.
yeah.
Oh, spin my husband right out, man. He'd never. What he doesn't realize is he did things in his sleep too. He wasn't actually asleep. Well, not often a sleepwalker, but he didn't know that until he met me. And I'm telling him about that he's doing this sort of crap in his sleep, and he's like, huh? But anyway, he used to spin right out because they would literally just walk out like little zombies and just stand there and look at you.
My two kids, they talk at night, but this is so funny. They talk to each other and respond to each other while sleeping.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Apparently,
you can sit at the door of the room and they're having a full-blown conversation, and between each one answering, you can hear the snoring. So you're like, they're freaking sleeping.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Somebody told me I was talking in my sleep when I was a teenager, and they actually spoke to me, and I spoke back to them.
And up until that, do that.
I had no time. I had
no
knowledge.
We got Nubs to do it in North Carolina. We were talking to him in his sleep. We didn't video it.
Some people will not wake up, and you can have a full-blown conversation with them about.
My daughter still does it
whatsoever.
Fluff is always at work though. He'll be like, "Put the car in base 6," and I'm like, "Which car?" I'll just mess with him. Like I've voice recorded having the conversation, but like the next day I'm like, "Hey, so what car's in base 6?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?"
And I saw a comment. Yeah, my chair. It's a rocker, gaming chair. It has a squeaky fucking
Mine
sound
squeaks too.
that I can't fix. I put oil and stuff.
But
it's a good chair for me. But
Nubs is tired. Nubs wants to go nap in Nunu.
This was a fun stream. Everybody, you should go check out
today
Malik.
A 24-hour? No?
Second Star, Dom.
He's going no.
Vodka.
He's like, shut up, Dom.
I do appreciate everybody. Thank you for watching the Nubby Bunch.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging in the chat, Jen. Vodka.
I love y'all.
Nubsy. It was fun seeing you all again.
Tonight was a great topic. Tonight we had awesome topics, I think. So
yeah, it brought out a couple of old souvenirs.
It brought out a lot of theories, and that's all we can stand by is that they're theories, because unfortunately we can't prove any of it to this day, at least.
Mm-hmm.
That is where we're ending it.